Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. So I'm sure it'll take a couple minutes for people to start coming on. But today I'm going to do a behind the scenes of the Go Wide, Grow Wide Kickstarter campaign. I am just like, I've been so giddy about this all week because I don't know, I can't wait to show people. I haven't really told people or explained to people what was actually going on with this campaign. I've done a little bit, but it hasn't been I don't know, it just hasn't I haven't had the chance to like really kind of open up behind the scenes and take a look at it. And so there's just going to be so many cool things in this campaign. My plans are very, very big for the campaign. However, execution is always a challenge. So I'm trying to like keep that in mind. But I don't know. I'm excited for this campaign to go live. It's been in follower mode for about a month, a little bit over that, and so I'm just kind of ready for it to go wide or to go live, and to go wide and to grow wide for that matter. So if you want to check it out, it's at gowide.growwide.com/ks, and you'll be able to follow it right now. But I'm going to show you the behind the scenes. And so let me get that set up very quickly, because it takes a little bit of time and I'm not as organized as I should be. So I did not have the page set up to share it. So let's do, I think I can go to edit and then go to preview. All right. Okay, how do I do this? Let me share my screen. Okay, so hopefully this works and is not like a real problem because I don't think I've ever shared through StreamYard before. Let me see. Okay, now it's making me do a bunch of stuff. All right, so this will be on the road shortly. Okay, so what is it? Oh, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to hop out the stream, but I'll be right back, okay? Okay, so that was just ridiculous. I had to restart. So also, I just wanted to let you know you are able to post comments. So feel free to ask any questions about really anything. You can ask questions about WIDE while we're talking, while I'm live. I will pull up all my stuff again. Try to share this time. But feel free to say hello. Let me know where you're coming from or where you're tuning in from, because that's fun too. Okay. There's like so many technical difficulties. So Russell actually does this for us like every single time. And he's oh, hello. So someone on Facebook, it's not showing your name, but it says they're tuning in from Costa Rica. So hello. Welcome to the live stream. Okay, so now let me see if I can share. All right. I want to share just a window. Oh, just a Chrome tab. Here we go. Maybe I just clearly this is not the easiest thing to do, but all right. So the next time you see this, next time you see me do a stream, I'll be more prepared. Okay. So hello, Chris Kane. Thank you so much for tuning in from Costa Rica. And Gina, hello, watching from work. I'm sure this is not the most entertaining thing you could be watching from work, but I don't know. Where do you work? Maybe it is. Okay, so I might have this set up correctly now to where I can actually do this. Okay, here we go. So I think, yay, it looks like we're actually streaming the correct thing. Okay, so this is the preview. Before I get going on this preview, I want to just, oh, hello, Chris Kane, now on YouTube, streaming from YouTube, or watching from YouTube, so hello. So I wanted to just show you, if you haven't followed the campaign yet for whatever reason, or if you're still deciding if you want to pay attention to the campaign, that's cool. You can go to gowidegrowwide.com/ks. It's a redirect link that will take you to this page. And so then what you do on this page is, this is the pre-launch page, and you can hit this green button, notify me on launch. And when you do that, so you do need a Kickstarter account. That's critical to be able to do this. And the Kickstarter account is free, so you can set that up. I say a Kickstarter account is free, but once you get into Kickstarter, you tend to like want the things that people are selling on Kickstarter. So just a warning, it's a little bit addictive. So right now we have 206 followers, which is super exciting. And we're still a little over a week out from the campaign. So I will be interested to see where we end up before launching. So anyway, that's this page. Feel free to ask questions. So books, so let me just give you an overview of the project. It's basically, I have 6 books. One is on direct sales, so it's getting your book selling from your website. Another, the other 5 are on the big 5 retailers. So that would be Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes and Noble, Google Play Books, and Kobo. And so what I'll say is that even if you're not a wide author, even if you have no interest in being a wide author, you can still get a ton of value out of 2 of the books in this set, which is get your book selling on Amazon and get your book selling on your website. So basically, there's a whole book on Amazon that is super helpful. I've given that talk, and like I've shared that information with authors who were primarily KU, and it was really, really helpful to them. And then there's also selling direct on your website. So a lot of authors who are Amazon focused or all in on Amazon, they're doing cool stuff with their print books. They're doing cool stuff with their audiobooks. They're doing cool stuff with merchandise. They're doing cool stuff on Kickstarter, on Patreon, wherever. So this book is really good for if you want to set up sales from your website, really in any way. So this book it's more about like creating a store on your website, but you could also just use it to set up a, one-time promotion too. So that's a cool idea too. All right, so just wanted to share that in case you are not a wide author and you are wondering, why should I pay attention to this? So let's go over to the project. This is the project right here, the project page. I haven't shown this to anybody. And it's still a work in progress, but what I wanted to do was quickly go down the story and talk about what's in the campaign, and then I wanted to switch over and show you the rewards, because that's kind of the most interesting part to see about a Kickstarter campaign beforehand, is like, what are the reward tiers? You can kind of just start to decide, like, is this interesting to me? Is there something I actually want to get here? And so Um, I want to, so I'll just go down the story page real quick and then we'll switch over. So with the story page, basically starts out like everything, like who should be using these books, or who is this campaign aimed at. So basically authors, indie authors in publishing, who are careerists of some sort, who are excited about building a career in fiction. And so these books are great for both fiction and nonfiction, but I always write to the fiction author because nonfiction authors tend to have a lot of options, whereas fiction authors, it can be a little more challenging to market because um, you're selling entertainment as opposed to selling something that is more of like a solution to a problem. And so I always write for the fiction author. So they are really good for fiction authors. They're going to be helpful to you if you're transitioning. So if you're in KU and you're thinking, I want to move my catalog wide, these are going to be great books for you because they really intro um, all the retailers and give you basically the lowdown on how the algorithms work for all the retailers. And so that's extremely important. One thing that people who are Amazon focused don't realize is they think that everything they know about Amazon is just true of like marketing books in general. And it's not at all. Like almost all the marketing that the indie publishing industry talks about is focused on marketing at Amazon. And Amazon's algorithms are very different than other retailer algorithms. So, one of the things about going wide is that you want to learn just kind of like general marketing um, in order to be successful at all the different platforms. And then you can also use, the algorithms to start bringing more people from that particular retailer into your world. Okay. So it's for wide authors as well. So if you've been wide for a while, you'll probably learn something from these books. I talked to Erin Wright, who is the admin for Wide for the Win, and she owns all the books, and we're also friends, and we chat like kind of offline as well, behind the scenes. But she has said to her audience that these books have taught her stuff, and she teaches me stuff too, so we always go back and forth. I love her to death, but anyway, so we always, we're both like interested in a lot of the same things. So but even she has said, so she's like a very like quite an advanced wide author, but even she has said that she learns new things about each retailer from these books. So I think if you are wide, if you've been wide for a while, I think that there's going to be some stuff in here for you as well. There's going to be stuff already. Like nobody's writing a book. Like every book kind of has to start at the beginning for the people who don't know as much about the topic. But I do think there's like quite a bit of advanced stuff in these books as well. And then it's really for people who like have gone wide in the past and they're like, that didn't work for me. I'm back in KU. And now they're kind of like, could this work for me again? But this, a lot of times when I talk to those authors, the thing that they struggled with is they really didn't have the knowledge that the algorithms are different on every retailer. So they took what they do on Amazon and they just like tried to do the same thing on these other retailers, and it didn't work. And that's like almost always probably like the number one reason, and like the reason 99% of the time is why authors have struggled to transition to wide, even when they've wanted to go wide. So knowing all of that ahead of time, it can at least help you make an informed decision about it, but it can also just, I don't know, it can also just set you up for stronger success as well. So these books are already technically they're out. However, the books that are coming out through this campaign, they're all like deluxe expanded editions. And so the books that came out, they were kind of like, I don't want to say the quick and dirty versions because that wasn't really what it was, but they were really like what I knew at the time, what I was interested in telling people, what I had discovered. And of course, since then, as you know, you put a book out, especially a nonfiction book, and then you start to get all these questions. And so that's what I always do now. I kind of learned that, you know, years and years ago, that if I'm putting a new book out about a new topic, then I always prepare for like a year. Within the next year, I prepare to relaunch the book in a bigger way. So I tend to get like, you know, the first, I don't know, 100 to 500 people or whatever reading the book and like, you know, oh, this was useful, this wasn't, and kind of like seeing a nonfiction book at least as more of a dialogue between myself and the reader, just so that, you know, I can get their questions and then I can start to answer those in the book. And then the book is just like that much better for the current reader and also the new readers. And then, you know, I do more promotion after that point. So all of these books are on their second iteration through this campaign. They're also, and a lot of them are greatly expanded. So that's another thing, is that some of these books were, you know, a little under 100 pages, like 80 pages, 90 pages. So now every single book is well over 100 pages. And I have like, one of the biggest things people asked for was like task lists. Like, what do I do? They're like, this is interesting, but can you connect the dots for me? Like, what do I actually do? What do I actually change? How do I change it? You know, whether, and so that's all been added. And then also just like more stuff. I've also learned how to teach algorithms more systematically, because before I was explaining stuff to people and they were like, I didn't get this. Like, what? Like, this is hard. And so now I've kind of found a system to like build upon their knowledge and build up the knowledge about the algorithms quickly. Also give people a framework for understanding algorithms in general, and then they can kind of see the algorithms at each retailer. So all of that is good. These will be in print for the first time. They'll be deluxe editions. I think they're going to be really cool. If you've done the Get Your Books Selling on Kickstarter book, like if you pledged that campaign or backed that campaign, you saw the paperback most likely. It's the books are going to be those same exact settings. So it's a, you know, it's kind of like an upgraded paperback as well from what Ingram Spark or Amazon does. They won't be a brick like the Get Your Book Selling book was, because that book was like almost 400 pages. So these will be, you know, like 150 to 250 pages. Like none of them are really over 250 pages. So they'll be smaller, but I think it'll be really cool. And they're going to look great next to the Get Your Book Selling on Kickstarter book. If you already have that, there'll be signs, like, you know, there'll be like a lot of nice things about them when you back. And then of course for myself, I always give people the ebooks and like all the other stuff when they have the paperbacks, because I just think, you know, you want to get the ebook right away. Paperback takes some time to ship. But it's kind of, you know, the paperbacks, it's a like a working collectible in many ways. So this is, you know, these are the specs. You'll be able to see these. But yeah, that's basically everything about the books. So the second part of the campaign is the workbooks. And so these are brand new. These are not published anywhere. They're not even completely complete. Oh, hello, Jim. Try tuning into YouTube. Doesn't appear to be working. Oh, bummer, Jim. I do not know what's happening there. It seems like somebody did make it to YouTube, but I don't know. I did have some trouble at the beginning of the broadcast, so I had to hop off, and so I don't know if it just maybe didn't reconnect. So sorry about that. Okay, So back to the workbooks. These are totally brand new. There are two workbooks, and so this is one of the most requested things that people ask for, which is interesting. I'll be curious how many people actually get the workbooks because, like workbooks, at least in my understanding, my very limited understanding with workbooks, because I only have one right now. But the workbooks tend to sell at a percentage of what the paperbacks sell. So anyway, so we'll see how many people get the workbooks. But that's why you do a Kickstarter, to see like, how popular is this actually, even though everybody's asking for it. The workbooks are really cool. I made them really cool. There's two workbooks. One is the Go Wide Grow, or sorry, one is the Go Wide workbooks, and it's basically wide foundations. So if you want to optimize your books at every retailer, and you just want like a paper version, they'll be in paperback, printable, and essentially like digital. So the printable, it'll be just a PDF and you can import it to your iPad or your tablet or whatever. You'll also be able to just print it out. So it'll be an 8.5 by 11 size. And I know people might want other sizes, but that's kind of the size I'm going to do. Or if you're like, I don't want to print this out, then you'll be able to just order like the actual paperback. And then that'll, it'll be like a nicer paperback than what you would get through Ingram Spark or through Amazon, but it will eventually be on those retail, those distributors as well. So you would be able to get it again if you miss it this time. But the cool thing about this is that it's really specific to the books. So the way I do workbooks, hey Jenna, thank you, but very cool. The way I do workbooks is that I try to make sure that there's a summary of the original book's content. Like I try to make sure it follows really closely to the book so that you can just like look at both. And then I try to make sure that there are summaries, but I also try to think about like how would I display this information visually, because I'm a very visual person. And so I tend to incorporate like lots of checklists and mind maps and like just more visual stuff. So trying to take the ideas that are explained in the book and make them more visual. And I do try to include like charts and graphics in my nonfiction books as well, but it can be hard with like an ebook. But I think the workbook is just a chance to kind of like bring a book to life in so many ways. So they're really cool. They have like I use templates, so like I actually did the novel writing prep workbook, which like I don't think a lot of people here would have seen it, but if you look it up and if you want to like kind of browse a preview of it or whatever, I actually did that all myself, all by hand, like just doing graphics. So I made like essentially 270 pages in Photoshop, like one by one. And that was fun, but it was also like very time consuming. So I decided for like workbooks going forward, I'm probably just going to use templates and like start with templates at least. And then like, yeah, maybe I'll do like a couple of my own graphics, but yeah, the templates are really helpful to kind of like just make it move faster. But yeah, so the Go Wide workbook, it's basically going to start with like what are wide foundations. So like your book title, your book subtitle, your series title, that sort of stuff. How do you figure out what keywords are going to be best for that? How do you keyword optimize your description, especially if you're going through like draft to digital or wherever? And it's just going to give you like the general sense of how to kind of optimize a lot of that stuff in ways that are good for either the majority of retailers or all the retailers, depending on what it is. And then it's going to go into each specific retailer, and it'll be like it'll really take the task lists from each of those books and bring them to life. So the Go Wide workbook, it covers wide foundations, and then it covers each of the 5 retailers and all the ways you can optimize your stuff there. And so that's basically just your foundational stuff, like your foundational marketing at any retailer. And then the Grow Wide workbook is really about scaling at those retailers. So it's very much more of a marketing workbook. The Go Wide workbook is it's really good for like if you're transitioning to wide, if you're like, I don't know anything about the retailers, the other retailers, I need, just the basics. I need to walk through the basics for this book or for the series or whatever. The Grow Wide workbook is like you're already wide, you've already optimized, and now you're looking at like how can I scale through marketing. So there is like quite a bit of general marketing stuff in this workbook. So it goes into like, what is your messaging? What is your ad copy? Like it'll go through like some basics around that, and then it'll go through the three biggest advertising platforms. So Facebook, Amazon, and BookBub. And it'll talk about special cases like perma-free. So like the special cases for wide authors are typically perma-free, pre-orders, and yeah, that's kind of it actually. Perma-free pre-orders. Oh, and I guess I would count 99 cents as a special pricing, which it's also relevant for KU authors, but it works a little differently for wide authors. So those are typically the three that I talk about the most. All retailers are doing a lot of stuff with series right now. So that's something that I really incorporating into this workbook is like, how do you get people into your series? Because on wide retailers, once you get them into your series, that's when the wide retailers really start to promote the book and like promote the series and like follow up with your readers essentially. And that's when some of their organic algorithmic support of your catalog kicks in. And so these are definitely, the Grow Wide workbook focuses a lot on the series algorithmic stuff. But yeah, I talk a lot about like advertising with KU versus advertising while wide. And one of the things that is a challenge with advertising stuff is that a lot of advertising stuff and just a lot of stuff in general for indie authors, it really focuses on tactics that are valuable and relevant to KU authors. And so you try to bring them to wide, which is like a totally different business model. Like you don't have page reads. It's not valuable to get people in to just like send traffic to pages. It's not as valuable. Permafrees are like they're so hard to promote on all retailers because retailers suppress them for for lots of obvious reasons. They want to sell books, but retailers suppress them in different ways at different retailers, and so that can be a challenge. So there's just a lot of unique stuff for wide authors that's not really taught because most authors are in KU. And so like most programs on advertising are catering to the KU crowd because it just makes sense. Like 90% of authors are in KU. So this is catering to the other 10%, the wide authors, and I think it's still very relevant to authors in KU as well. But there's just a bunch of extra and special cases that I really try to address through the books and also through the workbooks. Okay, so I'm seeing a question from Jenna. Do you have a workbook for launching on Kickstarter? After our fireside, I set up my first campaign. We haven't launched yet. Don't feel like I'm ready. So we have like a little like set of worksheets that we kind of need to expand and but it was part of our last campaign, but it's not really for sale separately. So I don't know if you backed our last campaign. Probably, I'm assuming you probably didn't. But that is probably the plan. I think I don't think it's going to be available anytime soon because what we're probably going to do if we do that workbook, we'll probably test it with our audience and then we'll probably like Russell wants to kickstart it, and so we haven't like put it together yet, like put together our plan for it yet. Um, but yeah, so that's a really good question. It's not on the horizon kind of in any bigger way. And if we do it, the first people to get it will definitely be our Kickstarter Accelerator people. And I don't know, I think Jenna, you're not in our Kickstarter Accelerator program. I do want to let people know we did reopen our free Kickstarter Facebook group. So this is kind of off topic, but I just feel like I should tell people now. So if you want to get in on that, I think it's facebook.com/groups/kickstart your novel. So we had it on pause. We've reopened it. We're also actually going to start a Kickstarter podcast. So just look like a free podcast where we talk about Kickstarter more, just because we still have so much interest happening on that project, even though we closed our launch and like we're not launching again until October. But we've just had so many people like trying to get into the group and like asking questions. So we decided like, okay, we're gonna open the group. We're gonna let people come in. We'll do like a weekly thing, and that's kind of our value that we're adding to the group, and like our dialogue with new people who are interested, since we're not really open otherwise. So anyway, great question. Sorry I can't help you out on that. We have plans, but we're kind of in pause mode on that. So okay, back to this campaign. So that's kind of tier two with the workbooks. The books and the workbooks, I think they'll go great together. I think the workbooks are going to be so fun and so exciting and so different as well. I also really just personally like workbooks, so maybe that's why I'm excited about this. But I think they'll be transformative. I also have several spreadsheets that I may send with the workbook. So if you're like an Excel or like a Google Sheets person, then I'll probably send at least a few of those, because I have a number of those as well that have been really helpful for myself, and that I've kind of shared in like private groups, but I think I might add it into the workbook stuff because it can be helpful. It really can. Um, Okay, so then the third part of the campaign is the incubator program. And so this part's it tends to be kind of harder for me to explain, but basically what it is like the thing I hear most from wide authors, and the thing that I experience the most is that there's so much to do. And so one of the things that I want to do for myself, and that I want to see other people do, is just have like a schedule, like a yearly schedule through which you can kind of cycle through the things you need to do while you're wide. So, um, you know, for example, in March, having the chance to do like Kobo optimizations and just saying for the month of March, just going to focus on optimizing my catalog at Kobo. And for the month of May, I'm just going to focus on optimizing my catalog at Amazon, and so on. So this is a monthly rotational schedule. So you'll be able, you can see this. You can also go to gowide.growwide.com/incubator if you want to learn more about the program. It will eventually be like there will be an option to pay month to month through Patreon, but during the Kickstarter campaign, um, I'm doing like bundles. So you'll be able to get like 3 months at a discount or as an add-on, or 6 months, 12 months. So you'll be kind of able to pick and choose if you want to get in on that for like a discounted rate. And the program hasn't started. It's going to start in July, and it's going to be that's the other thing about this, is that if you end up backing at one of the like if you want to join the incubator, if you end up backing at one of the incubator levels during the campaign, the minute that you back, which is probably not going to be, probably within like 48 hours, like I will add you to the incubator for like basically for July and August. So if you back early in the campaign, like let's say you back like the day the campaign launches, well, you're going to get all of July and then all of August for free or like as a bonus. And then your pledge goes through on August 13th is when the campaign ends. And then your time will start counting down. Like your time on the package that you got will start counting down starting in September. So, like, let's say you decide to back at the 3-month level of this campaign, and you want to do like 3 months in the incubator, then you would, and you did that at the very beginning of the campaign, then you would get July free, you get August free, and then you would have September, October, November as your 3 months. So I wanted to explain that because people are confused about that. So, yes. So the incubator program, July is going to be Google Play algorithms. So we'll be just optimizing stuff at Google Play. This is kind of actually a hot topic right now because Google Play just did an interview with Mark Lefebvre, who is amazing, by the way. He's a great person to follow if you're wide. So they did an interview, and there were some really great things that they talked about, and also some interesting slash confusing slash they've made a complete 180 on this type of things. And I'm talking about it a little bit in the Facebook group that I have, which is facebook.com/groups/go wide grow wide. Probably that probably works. Otherwise, you can just search for it. It's called Go Wide Grow Wide, algorithms and advertising for authors. So I'm talking about it a little bit there, but we'll probably talk about it more in this program because, I don't know, it's hard to have opinions on the internet, I guess, but I do want to be able to say like kind of more of my candid opinions on it because as an author, like I stand for authors and I stand for authors' goals. And so sometimes when talking to retailers, it's not that they're like trying to give bad or like, incorrect information or anything like that. It's just that their goals do not always align to authors. So author goals are typically like, I want to know how I can work with this retailer and get as many of those retailers, relevant readers to my book. Like I write contemporary romance. I want to get in front of all of this retailer's contemporary romance readers, right? Like that's basically what the author's goal is they want to just have visibility and sales at the retailer. Whereas the retailer's goals might be something else. Like they can only promote so many authors. So like, they can't promote everybody. So their goal may be to like, find the best authors, the best books, the books that sell the best. Like, I don't know. Their goal could be all sorts of stuff. So, I want to be able to talk about that because I do think that the guy that was interviewed, his name is Ryan, I don't want to butcher it, but I think his name is Ryan Dingler. He's been a product manager at Google Play for, he said 3 years. Which is, that's true because, well, like, why would he be lying? But also, like, you could just look at his LinkedIn stuff. And he just gave some metadata optimization that I think a lot of authors had questions on. And then, I was like very kind of, I was personally like, okay, that's interesting that he said that. Now I want to go check in the retailer's actual algorithm to see like, is this truly what is this truly going to help authors be more visible, or is it like something else that he's telling people to optimize for? And I checked and the algorithms had not really changed. And so then I saw this morning some authors in this other private group for wide authors were saying like, yeah, I've actually seen like a plummet of my sales since I changed according to what he said. And it's like, yeah, I'm not surprised because I don't know that he was telling authors like, hey, this is going to make you more visible in our store. I think he was just telling authors like maybe what he wanted or what like the software team wanted. Like, like a software team is going to want the best, inputted data possible so that they can then programmatically do all sorts of stuff around it. And so I don't know. I think there's a lot of there can sometimes just be those weird miscommunications between retailer reps and authors where the two are talking about like very different goals, and they want very different things, and so then the communication just gets a little jumbled because of that. So anyway, if you join the incubator at the beginning of this launch, then you'll get those conversations. August is the second free month. We're doing print book optimization, which like I need to do personally. So I'm really looking forward to that month. And then as the, looking at like, let's say because like the smallest you can get is 3 months of the incubator. But if you do that, then we're going to do direct sales special offers. We'll do Barnes Noble, and we'll do BookBub advertising. So that'll be the next 3 months. And it's all fun. Like I love all 12 of these topics. So like every month is super fun for me. So hopefully people join that feel the same way. Maybe I'm just a weirdo as well. So, but yeah, I'm really excited about this. And what comes with the incubator. So basically you'll get like 5 to 8, like I'm gonna count myself at 8 videos. So 5 to 8 videos each month, just and like try to keep them really short because I know y'all are busy. And then the bigger thing though is that we'll have like the ongoing conversation. So I'll be able to post like completely candid things in this paid group. I'll be able to like really say like, do I think this is helpful to authors or not? Like, how can you talk to your retailer rep about this in a discerning way? Like, I'll just kind of share what I really think, and we'll be able to have those conversations privately, and learn how to advocate for ourselves as authors a little bit more with retailers. Okay, so that's the whole campaign. I'm assuming you know who I am, or you'll read about that when the campaign goes live. And I got to change out this picture; it's just way too big. So anyway, that's the core of the campaign. There's also some consulting stuff that I'll talk about in the reward tiers because it's probably not for like 99% of people. So there's no point in wasting everyone's time and talking about that until the end. Okay, so um, this one, I'll just start with the first tier. So if you want to see the reward tiers, they're on the side, and maybe you've been looking at them this whole time. Okay, so the first reward tier is build your own bundle. This is how these work is you basically pledge $1, and then everything in the campaign can be bought separately. And so a lot of times build your own bundle can be a little bit more expensive, but like let's say you have 3 of the 6 books and you're like, I just want the other 3. There's no tier for that. This is the way to do it. And what I will do typically is I will so like let's say you get a bundle and it's like, you put a bunch of stuff together that you wanted and it like added up to like $45. Well, so typically what I'll do is I'll say, okay, I'll also, give them the things below that tier. So if you did have a tier that was $45, like I'll probably also send you this Go Wide workbook. I'll probably, I'll send you some of this other stuff as well, just so that unless it's like a tier that doesn't kind of fold down into the other ones, but I'll also give you the other stuff. The other thing is when you do the $1 or more tier, so there's lots of reasons to just back at $1 is the other thing, and this is just how Kickstarter works. But for the $1 or more tier, you'll get the Go Wide, Grow Wide boot camp recordings. The boot camp is something that I'm doing really next week, basically, in the Go Wide, Grow Wide Facebook group. And so what it is just like 5 very quick days of like, let's just get you started on wide algorithms. Like here's like the quick and dirty version of some of the things you need to get started. And so those videos will go live, but then they'll come down because they're time sensitive. But if you don't have time to watch them next week, then you can get the get the recordings of those. So that's kind of cool, and you get to keep those forever. So it is free content, but it is also super nice to have those recordings after the fact. And we do that. We do this with the Kickstarter Accelerator too. So like you can get you can take the challenge like during the challenge, but then you can also get the recordings once you join the accelerator. And it's just so nice because then you can kind of like go back and do them again if you want. So that's at the $1 level. The other reason to back at the $1 level is that there will be like, Kickstarter is all about bonuses. So there will be a bunch of other bonuses throughout the campaign. A lot of them are time sensitive. So like, no matter what, even if you don't know what you want to back at, but you know that you probably want to back the campaign, definitely get in at least at $1 at the beginning of the campaign, because you'll get all the bonuses throughout the whole campaign, as long as you maintain your pledge, which I don't know why you wouldn't. It's $1. And then at any point during the campaign, you can upgrade and you can like pick the actual tier you want to grab. But you will have, all the bonuses at the beginning. So I always just let people know that, that's how that works. The $10 tier is kind of boring. Basically, you just choose any of these 6 books for $10. And yes, the books are also $10 on retailers. So there's not really a savings here. The only like value or bonus to that is that you get this boot camp thing and you get like all the bonuses throughout the campaign, which is actually like a pretty good value. But yeah, I would say the $10 tier is not a particularly exciting tier, but it's kind of the generic, like, yeah, you can pick any one of these ebooks. The $25 tier, it's an Amazon author bundle. So you can get this if you're not Amazon focused, but this is really for the KU author. So it's if you are somebody who is in KU, you want the Amazon algorithms book and you want the direct sales book. And so if you just want those 2 things, there's also 2 kind of like bonuses for this. One is a transitioning to wide printable. So it's just going to be a small piece of the workbook pulled out as a printable. And then one is the Amazon author printable, kind of the same thing, just a section of the Amazon author workbook pulled out as a printable. So it'll be like a separate PDF and it'll have those, specific and relevant workbook pages for you for that. And so this is the KU bundle. I would say I did call it the Amazon author bundle, but so then this pledge at 40 or more is and all these ones are digital only, by the way, but this one is the one just for wide authors. So if you're like, I don't care about Amazon, I got Amazon covered, like whatever it is, but you're thinking, I want to go wide, I want to transition to wide, I want to I want to just focus on the wide retailers right now, and you're like, I only want the 4 books for the 4 wide retailers. This is the one to get. So you'll get the digital editions, you'll get the Go Wide workbook as well. So with this $40 thing, you don't get this Amazon one. So these 2 pledges these 2 reward tiers are basically like, you're either, this is like the KU author or you're the Go Wide author. And then if you want both, then the one to get is this $50 one. So that one, you will get the 6 ebooks that are in the campaign in ebook format and 2 workbooks. And so I will say something, that if we hit one of the stretch goals, then you will also get and you got one of the ebooks, then you'll also get audiobooks of the same thing. But that's only if we hit a stretch goal in this campaign, because I have to record it all myself probably, and hire an audio engineer to like do the work on it. So but I do want to just let you know that these ebook tiers, they could be even better if we hit the stretch goal, which is quite high. So I don't know if we'll hit it, but all right. So The $50 tier is the 6 ebooks and the 2 workbooks. So everything I talked about with the 2 workbooks, it's the Go Wide workbook, it's the Grow Wide workbook, and then the 6 ebooks in the campaign. At 75 or more, it's what I'm calling an expanded ads bundle. So if you're also interested, not just in optimizing it wide, but also in working on cost per click advertising it wide, that's where this expanded ads bundle comes in. So that's BookBub, Amazon, and Facebook. All 3 of those have their own books. And so you'll get those in addition to the 2 workbooks and the other 6 books. And then the other thing you'll get is any new author books I write, you'll get that for a year. So that'll start in September. So from September 2022 all the way to August 2023, if I write an author book, you'll get it. I write author books probably every 1 to 3 months. I have in the past written them 1 a month, which is a lot, but you'll get them. I don't know, like I can't promise like what that is. So maybe it's only, maybe it's only a couple books, or maybe it's like 7 or 8 books, like who knows. But you'll get those, you'll get them direct from me. And when people buy ebooks direct from me, then I always give them I always give them free updates for life, or for as long as the book is available, I guess. So if there's ever a new version of it, then I'll let you know. You can go in and download it. You can see all the other versions. So then the other thing I'll do is the paid Substack subscription for 1 year. And so this, again, it'll start in September. Like you can basically be added immediately, but it'll start in September 2022. It'll go till August 2023. And what that is I do I'm kind of sporadic with it. I would like to get more consistent with it. And if enough people back this, then I will be able to be more consistent with this. But basically, it allows me to do paid content on going on like wide topics. So I do some free content on that Substack. I do some paid content on that Substack, but you'll get access to all the previous paid content, which is not a huge library, but it's growing. And then you'll also get any new paid content for an entire year. And so I would love to do more with that. I'm excited about that. But I will say that both of these things are like, there's no like guaranteed amount that you'll get. It's just sporadic. It's when I'm able to do it. It's when it happens. Like, and so you kind of have to be willing to live with that uncertainty. But it's still a cool thing. And also, the pack itself is like worth $75. These 2 things are just bonuses. Anyway, that's like also a pretty cool tier. $100 or more is the 4 paperbacks. And so that's the Apple Books one, Kobo, Google Play, and Barnes and Noble. So this is kind of the first physical tier, but 4 paperbacks, again, they're like the Get Your Book Selling on Kickstarter paperback. If you have that in your house, or if you purchase that. Yeah, not much more to say about this. So if you get this one, you'll also get everything in the previous tiers. So you'll get like all the ebooks, but you'll only have the 4 paperbacks. 125. So for $25 more, you can get all 6 paperbacks. Pretty simple. Really not much more to say about this. You'll get the Amazon paperback and the website paperback as well. All right. So those are kind of the book tiers. And then we get into, I would say the book tiers and the workbook tiers. So then we get into the incubator. So 150 or more. So the incubator is a $50 a month subscription when this campaign's over. So for 150 or more at this reward tier, you'll have 3 months in the Go Wide, Grow Wide incubator. You'll also get all the other stuff. So it's hard, like it sounds like it's not a discount, because I just said it's $50 a month, and then it's $150 for this reward tier. And it's like, okay, that's like not a discount, but it actually is a huge discount, because you're going to get these 6 paperbacks and you'll get everything else. So the way I think of this is actually like for $25 more, you can just get into the incubator and get 3 months of that. And once you do that, you also get July, like July and August for free, whatever's remaining from the time you back. So if you back in like August 1st, well, you don't get July because you didn't back in time. So that is I don't know. I think it's a pretty good deal, especially, if you live in the US. The other thing is I will make a digital only version of this because I know that people don't like to pay shipping on the paperbacks if they don't have to. So, it kind of sucks to have that digital only. Like maybe I'll discount it to like 125 or something for the international people because it's like, now like you kind of lose a lot of the value because of the shipping. So that's a bummer, but I'll figure that out and like, do some sort of discount for you. Okay. So then if you do for $50 more at the $200 level, you get the 2 workbooks in print as well. And that's basically it. This digitally handwritten of annotated workbooks of the PDF printable, I'm going to nix that because it's like there's nobody asking for this. There's nobody who wants this. I don't think anybody cares about this. So sorry that that's still there. I need to delete it from this tier, but I'm just gonna delete that part. So this tier will just be like for $50 more, you can also get the 2 workbooks. So then for $50 more than that, so you can see they kind of just go up in $50 increments, you'll also get the ads books in paperback. So that's the advanced Amazon ads ones. That one is not available right now. The advanced Facebook ads one's also not available. The advanced, or it's not advanced, but just like the Get Your Book Selling with BookBub, which also includes like how do you get a BookBub deal and like all this other stuff. So just like this general BookBub book. That is also not available right now. So these 3 books are not available anywhere. And then you'll get 3 2-hour ads workshops. That doesn't sound correct to me. But anyway, you'll get you'll get these 3 2-hour ad workshops that I recorded on BookBub, Amazon, and Facebook that are focused on how do you advertise wide for those special cases, which I talked about, which are perma-free, 99 cents. Paid with no page reads, and then pre-orders. So like what do you actually do for those? And how does that work? All right, so then it jumps $100. So this was $250. This next one is $350. So for $100 more, you will get 6 months in the incubator, and you get all 18 books in the series. So that includes the 9 books that I've already talked about, which are the 6 main ones in the campaign, and then the 3 ad ones as well. And then you'll also get the other like 9 books in the series. And so that includes the Kickstarter book. It includes like all the books that I co-authored with Russell. It includes the book on cross promotion, the book on getting your books selling wide, which is free anyway. So, but you'll get it. You can also just go download it if you want. You'll get the I said cross promotion book, the Facebook book, like so like all the books that are in the series. So there's like a print book or a book on getting your book selling in print. There's a book on getting your book selling in audiobook. There's a book on getting your book selling in translation. So there's one on fiction apps. So there are some like really cool books in this series if you are like really going wide. So if you're kind of a more like wide advanced or whatever you want to call it. So you'll get those in ebook. And then like you'll get all of them in ebook, and then of course you'll get previous tiers, and then you'll get the 6 months. Then for a $150 upgrade, you get the incubator upgrade, and you get my 14 ebook series called The Productive Novelist, and I'll explain what that is. So the incubator upgrade is really just that you basically go from gold to platinum. The gold tier to the platinum tier, and go wide, grow wide. And the 14 ebooks of the Productive Novelist series. So I want to talk about that because it is kind of what I would call like an intermediate series for authors. And a lot of authors think that they're advanced. So they're like, I don't want to read an intermediate series. So what I think though, that series is good for. Who I think it's good for is anyone who would not like, so kind of my litmus test for this is, if I were to tell you you have a 99-cent book, like, one, you have to make one of your books 99 cents and get 500 pre-orders for it, or get 500 sales for it in the next 3 months. Can you do it? Like, can you come up with a marketing plan? Can you, um, do you think you can hit it, basically? And so that, if you don't think you could hit that number in 3 months, I think that this series can help you. And there are lots of good books in this series that will be helpful. So one is called Plan Your Book Launch. It's such a good book. It really like demystifies the idea of a book launch, and shows you how you can build one, very systematically. So another one is called just like Get Your Book Selling. So it just talks about, like, the stages of audience. Like, it just talks about like sales funnels, basically. And then there's one called Recruit Your Readers, which helps you build your email list and then helps you nurture your email list. So like doing autoresponders and stuff like that. So those three books in particular are helpful. There are also several craft books. There are books about writing faster, but that's kind of my litmus test. So it's not to say you're an intermediate author if you can't get to the 500, but I do think that advanced authors, they know how to do that, or they could at least like come up with a plan, or maybe they're like, that would be a pretty huge stretch for me, but like I could probably figure it out, or I could probably aim toward it. All right, so this could be helpful to you, I guess is my point. So the next tier, so it's a $250 upgrade. This is the tier where you can get all the books, the 18 book series in print paperback. And you'll also get the workbooks with that. So it's actually a 20 book series, all in paperback. You'll get it shipped to you. Yes, you have to pay shipping if you're outside of the US. If you're inside the US, the shipping is free. So this is a pretty cool thing. And you'll also get, all the other digital stuff like the incubator and everything. And then there will be three other things, which are they're basically like three mini mastermind calls. And so what it is that we'll hop on these three calls, and they'll probably be like a month or a month and a half, maybe up to 2 months apart, so that you have support over a longer period of time. And we'll just do like these mini hot seats. And so basically, we'll pull up somebody's catalog, and we'll kind of go through it and like get clear on how they can uh, change their change metadata or whatever to get more sales, come up with marketing strategy, whatever it is. But these are really going to be like focused on whoever's on the call. We're going to like figure out how to make your book catalog sell better worldwide. So these are cool. The other thing is, if you're the only one at this tier, then you just get 3 consulting calls. So a good reason to back it. But so I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if anybody will pick the tier, but that could be really cool. And if like a lot of people pick the tier, then I will just make it like 4 calls or 5 calls, so that everybody has a chance to at least get like one mini hot seat in. And so I'll just kind of expand it as needed, so that people are able to get like at least a little bit of one-on-one call attention. Okay, so then we get into like the really higher tier, like the premium tiers of the campaign. So this one is $1,500. It's double the last one. But this is the 12 months in the incubator at the platinum level. The platinum level is for people who like direct sales. And I'll kind of explain gold platinum, because I forgot to do that in this page. This page is, I'm going to add some stuff to this. But this platinum tier, it's basically if you want to work with me closely for the next year. Like that's really what these premium tiers are. It's like, do you want to like work with me closely / one-on-one? And so And a lot of people don't. That's why I have the incubator, so that I can help a lot of people at once. But some people do ask like all the time, like, can you just like work with me, and like, I want to be here by next year, like, can you work with me on this? And so that's you're going to be in the incubator at the platinum tier. So I'll really be getting to know your business, your catalog, all that stuff. And then you also have the one consulting call with me. So we'll do this kind of early on. So it'll probably be in like September or October. And it's really just a chance to like get you off get you off to a great start with Wide. So that'll be really cool. And if you want to do the consulting call later, then that's fine too. So if you're like, I want to do it at the midpoint, like, great, that's cool. Um, Nothing more to say about this. So then there's these last two tiers, again, like super, super premium at this point. So the first one is the $4,000 tier. It's a 6-month one-on-one mentorship with me. So what it is, you'll have like all the digital stuff, like you'll have my entire catalog, you'll have all the incubator stuff for at least a year. Maybe I'll just like add on and do more, really, because you're kind of like a premium like a VIP person at this point. But the really, really cool thing I think about this is that with these one-on-one mentorships, I'm going to offer unlimited tech support. So it's nothing I've done. I've never done it before. I don't know if it's like a crazy thing to do. But basically what it is, and I'll probably manage it through like Voxer. Like that's what my coaching friends do. But what it is you're just able to ask like any questions at all via text, basically. And so it's a chance for me to like really be looking at your business and like A, cheering you on above all things, but also B, like, it's like, yeah, I have a pre-order up for this book. Can what are your thoughts on it? Like, where can I optimize? What are some other keywords that you might see? What are some opportunities at this store, that store? Like, can we develop a marketing strategy? And so there'll be like a lot of that ongoing back and forth, bolstered by the 6 calls. So we'll also have a call each month so that we can talk through these things. Because like obviously if you're like, I have a pre-order coming up and I want to talk about my marketing strategy, like that's probably easier to do on a call than on like a text back and forth. But um yeah, like I'll be able to answer all your questions. And then the $7,500 one is the same thing. It's just 12 months. And so you'll get 12 calls, you'll get all the other stuff. So you'll have like my whole catalog, the whole incubator, like all of that. And then you'll have the Voxer support most likely. The other thing about these is if there's like more than one person in this basically, then I'll also do like more of a like a kind of like a mini mastermind for it, just so that you can also talk to each other and grow from each other, helping each other, and so we can talk about like just general marketing stuff together. And then I'll also, like I can ask Russell. I haven't spoken to him about this, but I could ask him like, can I bring like these clients, because they're like long-term clients, like can I bring them into the accelerator, which is like another $1,000 program. So he's probably fine with that, like but I'll ask him. But like that would be like another thing we could do. If we're at an event, like let's say you're at 20 books, I know we're planning to do some, like Russell and I are going to do some events there, so like you're automatically invited to those. We could grab lunch, we could grab dinner, like whatever. So it's one of those things where like there are probably like other bonuses to this, but they're not going to be like explicit, because it's just kind of, if there's an opportunity to like sit down and chat, then we'll do that. So that would be what these mentorship pieces are. And then, there's not a ton of consulting in this campaign otherwise. It's mostly just the incubator and the books and workbooks. And so I think for most people, the books and workbooks are good or like a start. I think the incubator is for if you know you want to, um, if you know you're wide, you're committed to wide, and you know that you want to be in a different place a year and a half from now than you are now. So, again, it's not, the bulk of this stuff doesn't even start till September. But we're saying, essentially, like, if you're like, I want to end 2023, like, I want to end 2022 stronger, but then I also want to end 2023 and be in like a very different place than I am now with my catalog. Like, the incubator might be a good program for you if you're specific to wide. So, yeah. And then if you have an interest in the one-on-one mentorship, then there's that too. And the other thing is, like, if you're kind of like curious about the one-on-one mentorship, but you don't know if you want to do that, then I'm happy to like hop on a call with you, or we could chat in Messenger or whatever. So that is the campaign. I also wanted to just tell people who are here, like, the kind of secret, kind of not thing that I'm doing. Um, so since you made it through this whole entire thing, either live or during the replay, I wanted to let you know that although the campaign is set, it's supposed to launch on July 5th. I will probably launch it early. So it'll probably launch on July 1st. And so then from July 1st to July 5th, I'm probably going to, because they're like kind of bonus or early days of the campaign, I'll probably do like a big something for people who back during that time. So if you want to, well, if you have already marked your calendar for July 5th, change it to July 1st. And so I'm actually going to launch on the webinar that I have set up. And I don't know, I'll have to post the link. It's called, I think it's called like five trends in wide that that there's like proof that these are happening. And so on that webinar, I'm going to launch this campaign, and I'm probably going to do some giveaways. I know I said I might do some giveaways for this live. I just decided not. I basically just decided not to, because doing giveaways like later on. So, and we have like so many giveaways right now that I just feel like, why overdo it? But I think probably on that webinar, there'll be like some sort of bonus if you back during the webinar. There'll be some sort of bonus if you back during that first couple days before the campaign was supposed to technically launch. And I think that they'll be kind of like bigger or cooler as well. And also, if you want to just like watch the campaign, because I'll probably do something where we're actually like, I actually just like hit the button and we kind of like look at the campaign and we watch it, and like people can go see it. So that'll be cool too. So that is everything. I hope that this has been informative to you. Does anybody have questions? There's not a ton of people here live anymore, but if you have any questions, let me know. I'm taking a look. So Chris Kane says the workbook sounds great. I'm a spreadsheet. She says she likes spreadsheets, so that sounds great too. So yeah, I also like spreadsheets. I also like workbooks. I like it all. Like anything that attempts to get me more organized. So yeah, so that's everything. It's been so amazing to be able to share this finally. I feel like I've been promoting this campaign for so long, and now I'm able to just like talk about all the cool behind the scenes stuff that I'm doing with it. So thank you so much for attending. I think I will end the broadcast here. Have a great day. Bye.